Hey everyone, this is Nicole from Kenhub, and today we'll be taking a closer look at your internal plumbing. In other words, we'll be talking about the histology of arteries and veins. You will probably already be aware that the general function of blood vessels is to transport nutrients and waste products around the body to be processed in the right places. Arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart and to the body's cells, and veins carry de-oxygenated blood back to the heart. Capillaries are the tiny vessels that permeate the blood's tissues and deliver the blood within the range of all the cells that need it. Our tutorial today will familiarise us with the histological features of arteries and veins. Here we can see an artery on the left and a vein on the right. From first glance, we can see that there are differences between the two, and by the end of this tutorial, you'll be able not only to describe and see the general features of blood vessels, but also you'll be able to determine the distinguishing features that make an artery and a vein a vein. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at the layers of a blood vessel and the various components we find in these layers. From there, we'll look at the types of arteries, capillaries, and veins, and finish off with the clinical note, where we'll look at atherosclerosis. Without further ado, let's take a closer look at the layers of a blood vessel. To start us off, we're going to discuss the various layers and cell types that make up a blood vessel. Arteries and veins both differ in their structure slightly, as they're both adapted to accommodate different blood pressure levels. But the core elements, as we'll see in just a moment, are essentially the same. Our image here is a blood vessel cut lengthways. The blood vessel walls are at the top and at the bottom of the image, and directly between these two walls is the lumen of the blood vessel, and the lumen is the space where the blood travels through. We're going to be starting with the layer closest to the lumen and work our way to the outside of the blood vessel wall. Blood vessels have 3 layers that we should be familiar with, and as we go through these layers, we'll present the arterial version of the layer first, and then show how the venous layer compares to it. The first layer is the tunica intima. Here we have an image of the tunica intima of an artery, highlighted in green. This is the layer of the blood vessel closest to the lumen and blood, and it's made up of a single layer of endothelium, then subendothelium, and then the internal elastic membrane. Let's take a closer look at these. The endothelium of the blood vessel here is directly in contact with the lumen. This image on the left shows the endothelium of an artery, highlighted in green, and this image on the right shows the endothelium of a vein. No need to worry about the specific differences in the two here though, as these images are just examples. The endothelium is made up of numerous endothelial cells highlighted individually here. The endothelial cells have a number of functions, including the absorption of nutrients and oxygen from the blood and the disposal of waste into the blood. In some areas of the body, like the brain, the endothelial cells are so tightly bound to their neighbour that they act as a barrier preventing the passage of any materials between the cells and into the surroundings. This is more commonly known as the blood-brain barrier.
This video is not over yet. Continue watching now the full video at kenhub.com. We have lots more videos like this one available to our premium members on our website, not to mention all the fun quizzes, related articles, and atlas sections. So click on the button in the middle to watch the full-length video and master anatomy.